Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. This is LZ, and I am here with Nick. And today, oh boy, Nick's going to get a few things off his chest. It's actually similar to what I did. I think it was last week where we had our PSA episode where I had some bad grades that came in, and we voiced our concerns here. Well, very similar to that story. Nick has been texting me a lot this week, and he ran into just quite a few issues, and we have to get into it.
Yeah, it's a pretty messed up story about eBay
Christ.
and PSA, and I think it's going to kind of lead into something we're going to get into around eBay and some cracks in the armor a little bit later. I am just trying to sell some cards, man. I got some stuff in my closet I'm trying to get rid of, and there's a $300 to $500 signed 1969 card. I threw it on eBay at $1. It closed at like 300, way less, a couple hundred less than I expected. Whatever.
Why? Wait a minute. Why did you throw it on eBay? Because I know sometimes you do private sales. Why did you say let's just do it on eBay this time?
I just felt like seeing what the economy would say it was worth at $1. That was a mistake because the auctions on eBay are a bit weird right now, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I threw it on there with like 12 other things in the same day, just kind of banged them all out, right? And it's like right there, boom, put it on. And I just wasn't in the mood to go private sell. Although now I may have to. So here's the story. I sent it, it got sent to the authenticator, which, as you know, or maybe the audience doesn't know.
Yeah, explain to the audience, what do you mean by it got sent to an authenticator?
So over a certain dollar threshold, I don't know exactly what it is. If something is encapsulated on eBay and purchased, then that gets shipped for free for now to PSA. It says third-party authenticator, but it's actually PSA. Goes to Santa Ana, California, and a grader or an authenticator actually looks at it and says the slab is legit, blah blah blah. But it's garbage. Honestly, this authenticity thing is garbage. I had a card creased in half. The Photoshop listing was the listing was photoshopped, and I purchased the card, and they were like, "Yep, it's good. It's authentically creased in half."
Yeah.
It's all good.
That was probably like 8 months ago when that one happened.
Yeah. And they don't even do aftermarket auto. So I'm like, what the is going on here? Like, this is like, it's autographed, but they're not even allowed to do it. And this card, just for a little more information to make it juicy, it failed PSA. The autograph failed PSA, passed JSA, passed Beckett, and I was going to sell it.
So this is in the past. So this is unrelated to this authentication that we're talking about.
Correct.
You're saying in the past you sent it to PSA. It did fail the autograph.
Of course. Yep.
Okay. And then
they charged me. They also charged me for it.
Oh, shocker, Nick.
Shocker. They charged me. And then, I sent it to the other two. So 2 out of 3 say this thing's good. I know the story behind it. It comes from the GOAT, Tim Gallagher. This card's good. It got signed by this guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's taken like 4 weeks. And I'm like, that's weird. I haven't got my $300 yet. Like, I'm going to just go peek in on things.
All right. So wait a minute. So now the card is back to the authenticator through eBay. All right.
Correct.
It's been there for 4 weeks. And you're like, where the heck's my money?
Yeah. And then it's funny, like a Spidey sense. I'm just chilling at the beach this weekend, and I get an email. It says, your card failed authentication. And it said because it was significantly scratched. And I went on a rant on Instagram. The slab is perfect. It's pristine. There's not a scratch on it. And so I just so the audience knows, I'm the hot-headed one of the two of us. Larry's calm, cool, and collected. And I go ballistic, and then I calm down. So I started assuming all kinds of things. Like, they're targeting me because they failed this card, and they're sick of seeing it, and blah, blah, blah.
Nick put his tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, I was wrong about that. But what I was right about is...
Oh, yeah. Hold on, Nick. Hold on. I'm thinking about the text message chain that we had going on. Yeah, you were going down a rabbit hole that you thought like PSA was like out to get you, and, and they knew who you were. And they're taking.
Well, they did, because I usually put like a Sports Card Madness business card in with my packages, so they knew who I was. And I was like,
oh, they're on to me. They're trying to take me
now.
down.
I got to rethink that, because we do episodes that are critical of them and positive. So, Yeah, God, it was crazy. So basically, like I was like, what is happening? And then I get another email. They make me wait a couple days for this,
Mm.
with like, sorry, this rarely happens. But and I ship this thing pretty well. Like I ship my other stuff, bubble mail or all that stuff.
Oh,
It's a
you're
little,
anal when you ship.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm sure you shipped it very well.
So I look at this thing and it's got a tiny little chunk of the corner like missing on the picture. And I'm
What?
like, that I don't even see how that's possible in a bubble mailer unless like you are purposely doing it. So TBD, I still don't have the answer yet. I responded and said, they sent me pictures that said, I would like a video of your authenticator opening this and showing, because I know they record everything at PSA. So I want to see if this eBay person has access to that video, because how do I know that great, again, I'm probably overreacting,
Oh
but how do
man,
I
I
know
know
the
where you're going.
grader, how do I know the grader didn't drop it on the floor, right? And okay, yeah, it came
Oh,
like this.
well, where I was going to, Nick, is after you called them out that there wasn't any scratches on it, did they
Right.
create a scratch and show you a new photo?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
going way
the
down.
whole
That's going way.
so that's the story, and I'm pissed about it. But the good news is I could probably sell it for $500 privately, so I don't even care, to be honest. I'll fix the slab for the $40 reholder fee or whatever it is.
Are you
And
worried? Are you worried that you're going to get a bad review on eBay now?
no, I talked to the guy and I said, "Hey, man, this is messed up. Like, do you still want the card? I'll sell it to you. Like, here's my
Yeah.
information."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Are they challenging the?" He didn't understand what was happening.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, most people probably don't. I mean, not
No,
many
but
people know about this.
he's we're good. And when I get it back
Okay.
physically, I'm gonna ask him one more time, like, do you want this? Like, you won this fair and square. I'll do a deal with you separately or whatever. Here's the chunk, and I could take the reholding fee out of it or whatever. I'll leave it up to him. If he doesn't do that, then yeah, I'll sell it privately. But
Mm.
the whole reason I wanted to get into this story is that what scares me about this hobby is how vertically integrated, and integrated is a nice word. I would say how vertically controlled this is by PSA. I can't even sell a card on eBay now without PSA being a filter,
I
judge, jury,
know.
executioner to the sale. Like, what do you think of this, man?
Oh man. I mean, Nick, I was thinking the exact same thing that you're saying right now, especially after last week's episode where we talked about PSA and we both said we're staying away from PSA for 6 months to 12 months.
I sent this in
And
before that.
and then you go and you're trying to do business on eBay and you can't get away from PSA. Like this has me scared. Like in a way it does. It makes me nervous. Like I have a lot of like duplicate 1986 Flair cards that I want to get rid of. I have a lot of PSA cards that I was thinking about throwing on eBay. And now I'm worried. What are they going to do? Are they going to say my autograph isn't authentic? Are they going to say there's damage on the slab?
Right.
Are they going to say my description wasn't correct on eBay?
Do
Like
they have
all of these things.
a quota? Like, does he have a quota like speeding tickets? Like every month you got to get 20 people. You know what,
Hmm.
LZ? We need to somehow get one of these authenticators on here somehow. But
We
man,
do, and
I
we
know.
will. And if any authenticators are listening, we've done a very good job of protecting authenticators on this show. We've
We
had one
have.
on in the past, right? And we do a really good job, and we take that very seriously. So if anybody wants to talk to us, we would love to listen.
I'll give you some nice cards to come on or something.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah,
Yes.
it's like it's cracked. I'm starting to see cracks in the armor. This also, as part of this, remember I said I sold like 11 or 12 things, okay? And one
Hmm.
of the big observations for me was, so a lot this was everything, okay? This was 86 Fleer. So you can't say like, oh, it's NBA, NBA's over. Yes, that's a factor. This was like female NASCAR drivers, a Chevy Chase card, um, really just a smorgasbord of just stuff I needed to get rid of
Yeah.
that was signed. They, like the Chevy Chase card, his signing fee is $100. The grading fee is like 30. The card sold for like $40 on a dollar auction.
What?
The 86 Fleers, they sold for like 40 and 30. And
No way.
that was a dollar. Just to dual grade them is 35, I think,
35.
on Value
Yep. Plus
Plus.
the signing,
I mean, if you do it
right?
bulk,
Some of
it's
them were
25,
TTM, probably, right? But some
right?
of you paid for, I bet.
The
I bet you some of
signing's
them.
probably $50.
Yep.
So we're talking like, this isn't like, oh, I missed out on 10% of comps.
Wow.
Like these sold for 30 to 40% of comps. Maybe I'm just unlucky. And of course,
No,
this
you're
isn't
not. You're not
okay.
unlucky. It's
All
happened
right.
to me. It happened to me too. I sold some 86 Fleer probably 4 months ago. I don't recall who they I mean, I could look it up, but I don't recall who they were. But I was shocked by how cheap they went. Like just
Yeah.
shocked.
Dude, we
Like
both
this is one of the most iconic. Like, oh, geez, here we go again. We're focusing on the set, but it's because me and Nick both, we're very much in tune with this set. It's one of the most iconic trading card sets in the history of the world is 1986 Fleer. And these cards are going for 30% comp with
look,
an autograph on them.
there's
Like,
some
come on.
economic ramifications here. So if this continues to happen, then one of two things will happen. Number one, the signing fees are just going to be eaten by the signers. They're just charging too much.
Yeah.
They just won't get interest in the signings and they'll be ghost towns,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll continue to charge and they'll eat the fees or whatever. Or two, which ain't going to happen. It's like real estate taxes. Grading fees will never come down. They're just going to go up. So I think it's interesting to see. I'd be curious what the audience has seen in terms of non-autograph stuff, like good, solid PSA 10, actual scarce things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard from a lot of my vintage guys that the market is soft in general. So maybe it's not just an eBay thing, but this
Yeah.
feels a little too soft.
Yeah, and that last part of it for the audience. We would love to hear about the scarce cards, right? Like if you're selling some goats and go if you're selling one of ones, certain parallels, anything autographed, like yes, please let us know. We want to hear about this. Put this in the comments, reach out to us.
Yeah. So, I mean, we did a
It's
whole episode on whatnot and live selling. And
hmm
I look at my 9-year-olds,
I know
like
where
my,
you're going. I know where
yeah,
you're going.
I mean,
Yeah.
I, again, I've done 20,000 SWOT analyses in my life for
Yeah.
companies. I live and breathe this stuff. I could just smell the wind changing.
hmm
Um, it's going to take a while, but I think live selling is going to overtake this very boring, snipeable selling on eBay at some point. Right now, the issue with live selling is you can't do it at scale. You're kind of like you got to have a person, and it's one card,
Right.
and one card, and one card, and
hmm
one card. But that's pretty efficient, you know.
hmm
Um, Whereas eBay, yeah, you could list 500 things. You can go through a consigner and it's there. But I I think this is going to
So do
come
you
to a
think
head.
whatnot's gonna you in a let's in a parallel universe, but maybe not. You think whatnot's gonna take over eBay then, right?
No,
What do you think's gonna happen?
what I
Or
think will
eBay's
happen.
gonna do that? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is what happens in corporate America.
Mm,
Okay. If eBay was a startup and still a startup,
hmm
they would have already had live selling right now.
Yes.
I think you're going to see eBay live within 12 months. The reason they haven't is people there are having a meeting to have a meeting to have a meeting to have the discussion
I
to
get it.
get it done. You
hmm
know how it works.
Yeah.
So whereas whatnot and the other companies can move fast.
Right.
And I think eBay is just going to come up with their own version of it, and they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
But they're going to pull a Microsoft, Internet Explorer versus Netscape, right? They just pull up their own browser. But you never know.
Let's take it the different direction. We know whatnot, but what about Fanatics Live? Do you think Michael Rubin wants to leapfrog eBay? I mean, we know that I don't really know if there's a competition. We'd like to think there's a competition between PSA and Fanatics, right? We talked about it with Marshall Fogel a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, but I wonder, I mean, that's another one that could and they have the pockets. They got deep pockets. Fanatics
See, that
Live might be
company,
able to.
that company's run like a startup.
hmm
And you bet Ruben's in that room, probably
hmm
like, this is important to me. Get it done by
Yeah.
Tuesday. And that's
Yeah.
why they're live and they have an app and
hmm
they sell. And that's why eBay doesn't.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see. I there's no way eBay stays out of this. It's like
No, it'd be foolish. Like
it's
this
crazy.
is so easy for them to do. Like once they get out of their own way with the paperwork.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd
they
be
have to do
interesting.
it.
I'm gonna do some digging and see what's
Hmm.
cooking. I know a couple of people that work there, so anyway, I think that's what's gonna happen. And I think what's happening now, I look at my son, he's 9, and my daughter's 13, and she's on TikTok live selling, and my son is on Whatnot buying video games,
Hmm.
and none of them. I don't see the patience
They're not going
in
to wait
yeah, like
7, 5, 3 days. They're just
there,
not going to.
there's no
No.
attention span, and it's not
Mm-mm.
exciting. Like
Mm-mm.
Whatnot is exciting. It's like, oh crap, these are
Well, yeah,
coming
the
down to
only
the
thing
wire.
that's exciting is 5 seconds before the auction ends. If you remember, you jump on and make your last bid. That's the only thing exciting about it, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
It's
it.
gonna be cool to see how this plays out over the next year or two. I
Hmm.
would be concerned if I was a massive eBay consigner,
Mm.
because what's going to happen, you're either going to get friction from the lower revenue from lower sales prices, or you're going to get friction from the competition outside of eBay and you'll get less consignments. So some of those bigger consigners, I think, are going to start feeling the pain. Or if you sell like over 1,000 things or do $1 million on eBay, I have a feeling that million is going to turn into 800,000 and then
Yeah.
600,000. Um, I could be
Mm.
wrong. It's cool. It's cool to watch. It's a case study. We're living in one, but
Yep.
there's cracks in
Yep.
the armor for sure.
There is. There's cracks in the armor. Are you following the other change that I don't know, they announced it, I think probably a week ago, eBay with they're going to start forcing you to enter your credit card or your bank information before you're making a bid. Have you been following that?
They should have just come out and said, "Hey guys, we have a new anti-snipe technology. It's
I
called
know,
it's called
seriously.
enter your credit card one more time."
Yeah.
They do that with remember when I was getting like 20 PS5s and just giving them to all my friends?
Yeah.
You had to enter your credit card on Best
Mm.
Buy at the very end. A bot can't do that, and a sniper can't do that. It takes a few seconds,
Yeah, well, the bidding, it's going to be tough with bidding. I actually haven't run into it. I've made some bids on cards recently, but I haven't. There's a certain threshold, I think, with a dollar value before they make you do this. But this is just going to force different changes in habit, right?
Yeah.
I'm
The sniping will
hoping.
happen at 30 seconds instead of one
Well,
second.
no, what I'm hoping, Nick, and again, I have to test this out. So the audience, please educate me if you've already done this. But what I'm hoping you can do is say there's 5 days left in an auction. I can make my initial bid for like $1 more and I put my credit card information in at the 5 day period. But then when there's 30 seconds left, 10 seconds left, when I'm making that final bid, I hope I don't have to put that information in again. I really do.
Yeah. If you do, then great, it'll work against sniping. But if you
Yeah.
don't have to, then I don't, there's really no consequence to this change.
Yeah. And then back to your point too, if we know that sniping kind of is wrong, but everybody does it because it's the exciting part of eBay. If they get rid of sniping, Nick, to your point around it's not exciting, like that ruins
Yeah, they're
probably the
just
last bit of
not,
excitement that it has.
now you're an
So
auction house like Golden,
yeah,
right? It just extends a half hour until somebody's dead, you
right,
know?
right,
So,
yeah,
oh, I think that's enough about eBay, man.
yeah,
We wanted
hmm,
to the audience has always been asking us to like just catch up on things that we're doing in the card world,
hmm.
in life or whatever. So we'll take a few minutes here and tell you guys what we've been up to. I guess
All
I'll make my first admission here. So
right.
I talked about Stranger Things for a while, and I said I was going to pick up a box, and I was texting LZ. I said I can't I can't buy a series one because it's got redemption cards that are expired.
Hmm.
Actually, I said that's the one box I could buy because I actually won't open it. So I
Yes,
bought a
that's the
string.
one.
I bought a
Mhm.
series two box, and I ripped it. Of course, I
He
spent
didn't
like
give it to me, everybody. I didn't put it in my attic. He
no
kept it. He
no.
kept it.
It was
You
so fun
knew.
though. It was
You
like a
knew.
boys' night. Like me and my son, so we ripped the thing, and it was like a $300 box, maybe 250. I can't remember. Something like that.
Series
250.
two. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, 250,
So
300.
there's two
Yep.
hits.
Mhm.
We got like a patch from the snowball with Dustin. That's a
Okay.
$40 card.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we got the on card of it's like Eleven's sister. She had some cool
Oh,
inscriptions
yeah.
on it. That was
Yeah.
pretty dope. But of course, the corner was dinged somehow. Uh,
No. Oh.
and so it's not going to grade. So that's a $50 card. So it was a great way, a great Friday night way to
Hmm.
turn 250 bucks into like 80 bucks real quick. But it was really fun and cool to like
Yeah.
open up something different than sports. So So I did open it and it was fun.
You
And
did. Oh man,
I
I
got
just wish there was something else in there. It
just
feels
two
like
hits.
that was a bad box.
Yeah, it was
Because those
okay.
patches, you can get those patches at any card show in like the almost the dollar bins. Like you go to those boxes where there are dollar cards, but then they have one that's like the $5 box. You can find those patch cards there. So I know they go for 40, but you can even get deals on that. Oh, that's a bummer. I you should have
It
got
was fun though. It
yeah, it
was
was
fun.
fun. I mean, ripping a box is great, especially with your son. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What's going
Yeah.
on in your world, dude?
Oh boy. I have an admission. This is more of a mistake that maybe some of the audience members have made. So with the 1986 Fleer set, I'm now to the point where I have 4 cards left. That's it. And I'm now trying to upgrade my other cards because I'm bored, right? There's like, well, I can't find these 4 cards. So I'm going to start trying to upgrade uh my cards that I have. So I have a terrible Kurt Rambis signed card. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this thing upgraded. I'm gonna find a better one. And I found an 810 auto on eBay. Awesome. And I went to bid on it and I won the bid and I got it for a good price. It was like right around $100,
Okay.
which is solid for an 810 Kurt Rambis. Couldn't believe it. It was like $100. So the card shows up in my house, Nick. Ah, and it's an A10. It's beautiful. It says to Sean, Kurt Rambis.
Oh, you
Like,
dummy. You dummy.
oh no, no wonder it was only $100. It
Did
was
he say,
personalized
did the
to
listing
Sean.
say personalized?
Uh, I don't think it did.
All right, you're allowed to send that back.
Yeah,
If the listing's
I
inaccurate.
don't think it did. I
But
don't think it did, but it might have, Nick. It totally might have. So,
my Rambus, I got an 810 Rambus and I have an inscription Clark Kent on it, which is so sick because he's
oh,
got the glasses.
that I mean that's cool. Yeah, that's
Dude,
all right. Well,
you need to send that back. Like,
okay, I'm gonna keep the audience updated. If I can't send it back, to Sean, who
is there a
is
Sean that's
I'm sure
listening?
there's a Sean who's a listener, but I need a Sean who's a listener who collects 1986 Flair dual
And who wants
dual
Rambus?
dual slabbed cards.
Yikes. Yikes,
But yeah,
dude.
reach out to me, Sean. I'm waiting for you. I got a good deal on a Kurt Rambis card for you.
You know, man, I got so this other thing I got into. I know obviously the audience probably knows I play guitar, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I ran into, we did that video, that huge autograph collection, like insane,
Hmm.
like 3,000 autographs. I picked up two things in that, a signed 1987 Jordan All-Star, which is cool. And then as kind of a thank you for helping him like navigate all this, my daughter's a singer, and I got a Janis Joplin photo signed from that collection. It's like, which is amazing. I mean, she died
Yeah.
in 1970, and it was funny. I texted LZ. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna, immediate like reflex. I'm gonna send this to JSA. It's gonna be $15. I'm gonna get back in a week, and this is easy peasy, no problem. I go to JSA and I type in Joplin, $250.
Wow.
I'm like,
Because she's a
what?
difficult one.
And then I'm like, wait a sec, Hendrix, $250. Like, just for the perspective for the audience, Michael
Mm.
Jordan is 150 at JSA.
Whoa.
So this, I'm starting to think that this might be an exceptionally rare thing, given that she died in 1970. It's
Yeah.
a
Was she
signed
one of the 26-year-olds? Passed away when
27,
she was 27?
27. Yeah. Kurt
27.
Cobain,
Yeah.
Jim Morrison from the Doors,
Yep.
her.
Hmm.
Oh man, there's a few. We're missing a few.
There is a few. There's a couple in the Seattle
Yeah.
grunge too that I think died when they were like
Yeah, it's
26,
like a cursed
27.
days. So she's one of
Other
them. So
yeah.
she didn't sign much stuff. Maybe she was famous for like Woodstock, few years, and then died.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So I'm starting to think that
That's
this
cool.
photo is like exceptionally rare.
Mm.
We're not gonna sell it. We're framing it and putting it above like a vinyl player. It's gonna be like a cool little area.
Yeah.
Um, but it was pretty dope. It made me realize like, should I be like looking for more music stuff? Like she unfortunately got rid of the Hendrix photo. That would have made
Oh.
my life. But
Oh.
maybe there's other musical things like
It absolutely is.
cards.
Absolutely, Nick.
Like maybe I'll start getting cards signed by like present day goats, like who are the goats, right? Like Taylor
Eddie
Swift
Vedder,
is a goat, right?
Eddie Vedder, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dave Grohl, who doesn't sign anymore, he did a very public video. The audience
Yeah.
should Google. I'll put that in the description, actually. He just tells everybody to piss off. It's awesome.
Uh,
Um, but you're right. Like the living goats, right? Like Dave
yeah.
Matthews.
Hmm.
I'm going to start trying a lot harder to get them like to sign at
Even go after
venues.
like the divas too, like Mariah Carey.
Yeah, of course.
Even get
Janet Jackson.
her,
You were just
Adele.
at a Janet Jackson
Yeah,
concert.
Janet Jackson a couple days ago. It was
Um,
awesome.
I'm starting to think like this is a category. Like it
I
interests
love
me.
it.
Like
That's
you might
great.
not. I guess everybody likes music, right? Unless you're like really weird. So you know, you got to like some band at some
Yeah.
point,
Yeah,
and
yeah. You
if you
like
do
something.
collect something. So I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely
They're
gonna get a few.
hard.
Yeah,
They are hard. I mean, you and
you
I have
gotta.
there's some. I haven't gotten many. Like I got Joe Walsh from the
Yeah.
Eagles, who's a
Oh,
legend, great guitarist. He
Chris
signed.
Novoselic from Nirvana. He
Yep, you
signed
got him.
he signed a guitar pick and a card for me.
Yeah. But
Pretty awesome.
they are tough.
That is, they're
Musical
few and
artists.
far
I will
between.
say some country artists will sign. So if yeah, go after country music. That would be a good one. But they're going to be tough. But hey, you're up for a challenge. So that would be
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that would be cool. I was watching a really good grunge music documentary last night with my son. It's called Hype, and it's about the Seattle grunge scene. It doesn't just focus on like the big ones. Like it's not just Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam. It focuses literally on the city and all the bands that came out during that time period. And I got really excited because probably 80% into the documentary, there's this photographer. I think it was a photographer. It might have been a producer. He that was in kind of the whole documentary. He made trading cards of the grunge bands.
wow.
Yes.
Oh,
And I
I
looked it
got
up. I want to say it's like NW. I don't know what the NW stands for, but if you just type in like Seattle grunge band cards, they're out there. There's sets of them. But
cool.
the thing that kind of was a bummer for me is like the big ones that I like weren't in it. Like probably because he can't get the rights to it. Like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, we're not in the set. But it's still really cool.
All
But
right.
so
I
they're
just
out
looked
there. Look for it.
93% on Rotten Tomatoes, so
Yeah,
that's a
it's
good
good.
candidate. All
It's a
right.
good one. Yeah,
I'm
I
into it,
recommend
man.
that one. Hmm.
Awesome.
Yep. Speaking of cards, I referenced a few times Marshall Fogel. We've had him on the past for a couple weeks. We had him on. We had multiple episodes of one of the godfathers of collecting. If you haven't listened, please go back and listen to those episodes. It is really like this is gonna sound corny, Nick. It's like a life-changing experience listening to Marshall talk about collecting, but just like life in general and what drives him and how he became who he is and what he wants to be remembered for. Because Marshall's getting up there in age, and it was great. And one of the recommendations that Marshall gave to us and all of our audience is to look into 1962, 63 Topps leader cards.
All right.
So I didn't even know what a leader card was when he was talking, but I was writing it down and I'm like, I'm shaking my
Same.
head like, oh yeah, I know what a leader card. I had no idea what a leader card was. But as soon as we hung up that episode, I jumped on eBay and I found leader cards. You've all seen them before, right? It's like it almost looks like an all-star card, a Topps, and it's got like four players on it all at once. And it's like the leader of strikeouts, the leader of home runs, the leader of even football, like touchdowns and sacks. Um, I picked up a very beautiful 1962 Topps home run leaders, Nick. This is insane. This has got Roger Maris on it. It's got Mickey Mantle on it. It's got Harmon Killebrew on it. It is beautiful. And it's got like Roger Maris, 61 home runs. Like Mickey Mantle, 54 home runs.
That's awesome.
It's a very, very cool card.
How much did
So
that card cost?
it was like $30. It's raw. I didn't get a slab one. There
Okay.
were some slabs. The slabs were like 80, maybe
Okay.
100.
So, like
Uh
Marshall said, this is very affordable.
yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah, very affordable. And this is a really good one too. Like this one is
well, hold it
probably
up. Let's see it. Do you have it right there?
Yeah, I
All right.
do.
Sorry for those on audio.
So
But it's
look at
the
the look at the
61 home run
corners.
leaders.
I mean, the corners look beautiful, Nick. Like I think this is probably
I
a
just like that
five
card. It looks like
or a six.
a 50s magazine. It's just really cool. I
Yeah.
immediately went down the rabbit hole. I'm like, all right, who's got a leader card and who's alive? And so Koufax, I think, man, I hope he
Yeah.
does another signing. He did one last year.
Yeah.
Um, I I'm gonna probably get a leader card signed by him because he's
Mhm.
he's goat. And I'm just gonna see who's left. Sadly, it's kind of like what I did with 61 Fleer. There's probably 20 guys that were alive, and guess what?
Mhm.
I got them all to sign
Get them all to
cards.
sign.
And
Yeah.
you better be in a hurry with that type of stuff because you
Mhm.
never know. So thank you for my weekend project. I got to get another spreadsheet going.
You
Leader
do have to get
cards.
another. Yep,
I
you
don't even
do.
know how many cards there are.
Uh,
I'm going to be scared because there's a lot of
yeah.
baseball players.
Well, there's
So,
baseball, but there's also like other sports too. So I mean, you're a big
right.
basketball guy, Nick. So you could do leader basketball. But to
Yeah.
Marshall's point, Roger Maris, like, come on now, like Mickey
Yeah.
Mantle, come on now,
It's a
like,
nice card. I like it, man.
yeah, nice cards, and they're affordable. So especially any teenagers or kids that are listening to this, you guys should go after these. Like, you want to get into vintage, this would be a really cool vintage card for you to get that you can afford.
Excellent.
So
Yeah.
look for these.
I like it, man. So we
Yeah,
we take the advice of our guests.
we
I am
do.
I am very easily influenced. First of all, like you could hypnotize me with like 3 words. I'll see an ad in a feed and I'll just buy it. So if somebody that has a $200 million collection tells me to buy leader cards, I'm gonna go buy some leader
Oh
cards.
yeah, it was like when we had Manu from the Hobby
Oh
House,
right.
and she was talking about the tennis cards.
Yep.
I went down a rabbit hole with those tennis cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
yeah.
you do got a lot of rabbit holes.
Uh-huh.
Manu is great. She put us onto a lot of things. Like she was like, "Yeah, you got to go for this, get that
Mm-hmm.
box, do this box." It's a like the knowledge of the breakers, whether you love them or hate them, they really know their stuff, and
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
yeah. I do want to tease an upcoming episode, and to
Okay,
the audience, like, don't hold us to this, like when it's gonna be, but it will be at some point. So that's
okay.
very vague.
I
But
don't even know what this is.
it's gonna be an awesome episode. So um I have become friendly with a thrift store owner in Massachusetts, and his name is Mikey. It's like Mikey's thrift store. And Mikey gets a lot of his product from storage units, and he gets cards all the time.
Oh baby, we're
All the
going
time.
storage unit hunting.
I caught up with Mikey, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I got a Michael Jordan rookie and one." I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a
Oh
minute,
baby, I got
you
these
got a
star
Michael Jordan
cards.
rookie? Like, come on." So I said, "Mikey, you gotta let us come down. We want to see your store. Want to talk about the cards that have come in, but me and Nick want to go
Yeah.
on site with you and crack open one of these storage
We're
units."
cracking a safe, dude.
So,
This is like I watched that on TV. I want to do this. I want to
oh
kick
yeah.
that door in. I want to get that sledgehammer out. Just start whacking things. And if I see a safe, I'm just gonna be
Uh,
like, I'm just gonna pass out.
so Nick, when we crack it open, what will be in it? Like, knowing us, it will be just like it'll be
89 tops baseball
no, it won't even be cards.
necklaces,
It will be like construction tools. It'll be like drills and screwdrivers.
Russian dolls.
Awesome. Great. But still,
You
I mean,
never know, man. I feel
it's
like
gonna
the
be awesome.
universe takes care of us, man.
It does.
We're gonna find a storage unit with the long lost 84 star untouched
Yeah,
set in
a
it.
T206 Honus Wagner
Yeah,
just
yeah, we'll get
sitting
that
in
too.
there.
Yeah, man, we're,
Sitting in
we're
there.
gonna get like $100 million of stuff, baby.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
So,
keep you guys
anyways,
updated.
audience, please, please be on the lookout for that one. That will probably be, I'm gonna guess, like August, September timeframe, hopefully. But it's all gonna depend on when Mikey gets his next storage unit, actually. So it will really depend on him.
I need to get close to this Mikey guy. All
Yeah.
right.
So I have that story, and then there's another one that I might be working on too that I'm also gonna tease.
Is this the one with your
Uh,
mom?
yeah.
Oh
So my
boy.
my mother's got like a lot of cool friends. She comes up a lot in these podcasts.
She's very
But
eclectic.
yeah, well, first shout out to my mother, because me and Nick have business cards. He mentioned it earlier in the episode, right? And my mother came over once. She's like, "You gotta give me some of your business cards." I'm like, "Why?" So she'll be like at a store, and she'll be talking. Somehow she'll get talking with a guy or a girl around how my son's got this collectible hobby show on YouTube, and are you into that? And like sometimes they will be, and she's like, oh, well, you got to take his business card. So shout out to my mother, because she's, some of the people who are listening to us today, shout out to her, because she's handing out our business card everywhere.
Woo.
But she's got some cool friends, and two in particular were like big like college basketball players, female, which is awesome. And I'm starting to collect WNBA too, and that's a whole nother story that we'll get into, not today, because that's very interesting. But they are, big college athletes, basketball players, and they're like big into collectibles. So my mother nonchalantly says, "Oh yeah, they're moving, and Larry, I think they threw out some of their collectibles." And I just like fell off my chair.
I just
I'm
want
like,
to stop
Mom,
for 1 second there. This is the
oh,
stuff that I have nightmares about. As I put
mhm.
these sets together, I know that there are boxes just being thrown out.
Yeah, just thrown out.
So go
Hmm.
ahead.
Yeah, just thrown out. So I go, Mom, please tell me this didn't happen. Yeah, I'm sorry, Larry, it did happen. Blah blah blah.
Were any of them red, white, and blue?
Well, so I said, well, what sort of collectibles do they have, Mom? And she's like, well, I know that they have like Michael Jordan autographs. And I said, what? I'm like, wait a minute. She just like nonchalantly said it. I'm like, wait a minute, do they still have them? Can you please check if they still have these? Whatever. I think she said they were jerseys. I don't know if they're cards, but
That's
if they're
cool.
jerseys, I still want to
That's
see the
two,
jerseys.
$3,000 a piece. I mean,
Yeah, they're beautiful, and everything they have is like really nice. Like I have a few items. They gave me like I thought it was a Type 1 photo, and I went to Marshall, because Marshall Fogel is the expert in Type 1 photos. I reached out to Marshall. Shout out to Marshall. Marshall kind of let me off the ledge. It's not a Type 1 photo, unfortunately, but it is a photo from like 1906. It's beautiful. So like everything they have is really nice. So whatever they do have left, Nick, it's going to be pristine. So maybe working on that show. Hopefully I'll get in touch with them, and we can talk to them, and just see kind of what collectibles they have. So
if
yeah,
anybody on earth could come up with some random, like autographed 86 Fleer Jordan, like out of thin air, sitting in like a book, it would be your mother.
my mother.
So
Yeah.
I actually feel like you're gonna find something good.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
she
she's on the
just
hunt.
has a way
Hmm.
of like, so
Yeah.
all right, sweet
Yeah.
man. We'll
Yeah.
keep everybody updated on that.
So we got
Damn,
those.
you might be this is wild. I'm excited.
It's
I don't
gonna
know what
keep
I'm
us
more
busy.
excited for. It's like your
Yeah.
mom's friends or the storage units.
Storage
Sheesh.
unit. Storage unit. Yeah. Well, yeah, we got some good ones coming up, people.
Excellent.
Audience. Yeah.
So all right. I mean, that's wow. I feel like we went on a good eBay rant and we got caught up on life.
We
This is
did.
how me and LZ just talk. So we're recording. We got the national next week, I think.
It's coming up, Nick. Very
So
close.
you're gonna be there with your son, sort of representing us,
Yes. We're gonna be doing a daily Instagram live
right?
with
That's
me,
correct.
Nick, and maybe my son in a couple days too. I might get him in front of the camera, because I'm gonna forget things, and he'll be good at remembering everything that was
Our
going
sons
on.
both want to get on the channel, so we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. So we'll do that. Me and Nick are gonna record 2 episodes while we're out there. So
Two
we'll kind of
main
have,
pod episodes,
yeah,
right? Yep.
exactly, 2 main pod episodes. We're gonna do kind of one halfway through, and then one at the end.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Halftime report. And then at the end.
We are official press at the National, so we are going to get
Yep.
access to a lot of areas that people are not going to get access to.
Right, including players. We're hoping to. So be ready on the YouTube channel. You're gonna get drowned. Like we're
Yeah.
ambitiously gonna be like a day 1 vlog, a day 2 vlog, 3, 4, and we'll be dropping like 5-minute clips if we interview a player. Like Brian Urlacher is gonna be in a lounge, as part of the Ludex Lounge. If we get to talk to him, we'll put it on here. Whoever
Yeah.
we end up talking to, we're just gonna drop stuff on here, and because LZ and I couldn't attend last year, and it was so awesome to like live through everybody else. So if you can't attend, we'll just put as much on here as we can, so you feel like you're attending, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had some giveaways recently, right? So I'm hoping that we can meet the people that we've been giving stuff away to. So that will be really cool as well.
Come find LZ. I think for next year's national, we're gonna do formal meetup. We're gonna try something cool, like maybe all our past guests or as many as we can get, and something like that. And I think between now and then, we might do our first virtual meetup, just like a
Yeah.
Zoom type of thing at some
Mm-hmm.
point. I think it'd be cool to talk to you guys, like, and meet as many of you as possible.
Yep.
So yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned. You're gonna
Yeah,
be
I'm
boots on the
pumped.
ground. Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be fun.
excited. I'm excited. Gonna get my sleep, gonna get my water, gonna get some good shoes, and be all over that place. Gonna be all over that national. A lot of
Yeah,
content, everybody. Yeah.
excellent.
All right. Good.
Cool.
Well, I
I
think
feel
that
like,
wraps it up, Nick. I think we're
yeah,
good. We
feels like
caught
a good
up.
pod.
Yeah. There's a
All
lot going
right.
on, everybody. You can just see how much me and Nick are just talking and keep it coming. We want to hear the comments. This is how we meet people. This is how we come up with these stories. We've had a lot of audience on the channel,
Yeah,
and we want to keep having you. So come to us with these cool stories, everybody. We want to hear them.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And yeah, get ready. National is end of next week.
that's right. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.